Hello guys. Um, Today I want to talk about Action Air standard division pistols. This is my personal one that hopefully I'll be using for the year 2025 when it comes to the standard division for Action Air. And I wanted to showcase the build and kind of give my insight on this. Because there's not many videos online, at least in English, that talk about Action Air specifically. A lot of them are in non-English speaking countries, so finding the information can be a bit difficult for people who are getting into this. There's many people that are focused on speed soft or general skirmishes, but I don't see generally many videos that are focused on Action Air. So this is my build. I've recently rebuilt this in the last couple of weeks. I've tested everything and it's performing exactly how I wanted to. I'll give a rundown on the build, and the thing that I want to focus on is not necessarily the parts, but necessarily the tools on how to optimize the efficiency of these parts. A lot of it comes from understanding how real steel gunsmiths modify their pistols, and then translating the same kind of expertise for this. On the externals, I'm running the stock Marui Bomar style sights in the back. This is JLP front sight with the green fiber. I really like this. This is AIP steel, I guess thumb rest you would call it. This is non-functional since it would only go back this much. The safeties are Infinity style. It's an STI frame, so this is kind of hubris, but it is what it is. One day I'll change the frame or the safeties, but we'll see. I have the AIP mag release. This is something that I'm gonna bring up later, and this is something that I really don't like. So this is the first thing that I'm gonna throw out of this build. The trigger, I don't really recall. Maybe this is Edge. It fits my finger and the length of my pull. What else? Standard magwell. I guess this is Edge as well. And as you can see, I have fitted perfectly around the magwell to not allow any extra space where the mag can catch on. Like with my fingernail, I cannot tell the difference. Here maybe with the light it's better for you able to see. It has been blended in perfectly. This is just done with the Dremel at the start and then with sandpaper until it's smooth, and I made sure to not take any extra material to keep it tight. The magazine just enters very smoothly, so even when I come in at a harsh angle, it's just let in and smoothly drops down. The hammer, all of this is Airsoft Masterpiece. The frame is Gunsmith Bros. This is a slightly older frame. This is like from 2022, something like that. Still in perfect condition. There's no reason to change it at all. Gunsmith Bro, the slide is Edge, if I'm not mistaken. The safeties are steel safeties from Airsoft Masterpiece. This is the stock Marui, and as you can see, it doesn't move. This is basically locked, so whenever I get a purchase on the grip, I'm less worried about perfect engagement here and just focus down on dropping the safety and getting a decent grip. This is something that is very easy to do. You can either thread the hammer spring housing and lock this in place, or you can just shove in a piece of rubber and it will basically lock this. Real steel users do this if they don't want to pin this, so it's a DIY solution. As I showed before, it only travels this much. This is the max that it would go. Basically just enough to drop the hammer and slide forwards. When it comes to tuning the hammer, basically you want to get a very, very smooth pull. But when you go to a match, you need to still retain the half cock. Well, you can see that I still have the half cock safety functions. This will be in the safety check when you go into any match. This needs to exist. I see a lot of gunsmiths remove the half cock, which will not even let you into the match. So gotta keep this safety, gotta stay functional, and the hammer will drop 10 times out of 10. You cannot pass inspection without they usually rack the slide 3 to 4 times, and if the hammer slips even once, you're just you need to register with another pistol. I'll open it up, and I'm running, as you can see, the blowback housing is polished. I'm using an Edge blowback housing. I guess this is version 2. Lightweight. This doesn't have the short travel. This is just a standard one with a garter nozzle. The spring on the inside that I use for the internals, I've done some modifying to it. I don't want to take it out to show, but basically the stock one is perfectly fine. This is a TTI airsoft aluminium hop-up, pretty good. A lot of short stroke buffers. This is the max that I can feed reliably with. I have a piece of plastic here that I just found randomly somewhere, and this is an AIP short stroke kit, and I go with the soft, medium. Softness is not pretty hard. Soft, washer, hard, soft, and there's 2 washers to diffuse the energy. This is a Battle Flare recoil spring, 110 on one side, 130 on one side. The side with the most coils facing the blowback, the hop-up unit, and the looser coils towards here. And this is a 4.3 plug to allow the maximum amount of short stroke to be inserted. This spiral guide rod, I don't know which company made this. It's okay. I prefer the steel ones due to the weight and mass that they have. And let me show you. This is going to be pretty annoying to remove considering how much short stroke it has, but hopefully it doesn't fly. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, pretty good. But sometimes this metal parts will start to catch on this. So very gently you can remove any surfaces. The coating on these can be inconsistent and can lead to sometimes the washers. You can see this runs so smoothly. So when the spring turns and binds on itself, when it binds, you want to make sure that everything here is flowing super smooth. There's like 0 resistance. You want to make sure that the system runs as smoothly as possible, and the plastic washer is a bit loose. I was very lucky with this piece of plastic that I found randomly. I don't know from where. It allows it acts as a bearing. Let's say I've seen people put bearings here, so it kind of acts like it with how smoothly it runs. I gently lubricate this part here and gently just lubricate the springs. The top ends are polished. This is getting a bit nitpicky, I know, but you want to make sure that there is no resistance whatsoever at any ends. When it comes to the plug or when it comes to short stroke, you want to make sure that there is no binding whatsoever. So with very soft sandpaper, just remove any abrasions, anything that can get caught up, and he'll be good. The barrel, if I can get it out. This is an aluminium barrel. I'm experimenting with an aluminium barrel for this specific build. Usually I like a steel barrel. Inside there's a PDI 6.1 inch, a 6.1 tight bore, sorry. I hand lapped this. This is a steel barrel and I've polished it by hand using diamond paste. I don't remember which grit I went down to, but it is silky smooth that even a drop of water wouldn't find anything to stick on. It's polished to the max. Inside here, the TTI aluminium hop-up unit. This has been great. I loved it. The brass one is out and I still prefer the brass, but I'm using it in this one and it's serving me fine. There's no need to change. I'm using a Maple Leaf old Decepticons, the ones where they're made out of more of a rubber consistency rather than silicone, and it's running great. This is my preferred. This is gives me the most consistency for the ranges that you would shoot at a match, which you don't need that much. I guess 20 meters would be the max, if you would even reach that. So you want as flat and as consistent of a trajectory rather than range or max hop. I'm running usually 0.28s. So this is giving me very flat, very consistent, and very predictable trajectory. And this is the thing that you want with an Action Air match pistol. Especially with the standard division, you're using the iron sights. So you want to make sure that you can predict easily where it's going to go and it's going to be consistent each and single time. The hop-up unit, the blowback unit is a set edge. Inside of it is a Gardner nozzle. Generic one, it's pretty good. Nothing to complain about. Any edge that you see an interaction with the sear, the disconnector, or the hammer, you need to make sure that there is no contact at all. The anodization of these parts is usually pretty good, but it is not perfectly consistent. So I just gently went through these areas. Every single area that gets hit by the other parts is polished. Not too crazy amounts. I'm not trying to remove any material. I'm just trying to make sure that it is as smooth as possible, that there is no binding, that there is absolutely no resistance. This needs to make sure that it runs as smooth as butter. Besides that, generic slide. You can reduce the weight by milling portions of it, removing some parts, but for me it's pretty good. I'm maybe in the future I will see if I really want to mill it. When it comes to the rear sights, this is a stock Maruhi. It's pretty okay. It's not the best sight, but it's kind of lightweight compared to the other steel ones. And the main problem is that this is not adjustable. Yeah, you have a screw here that technically you're supposed to adjust it. But in practice, this would fly off. This screw is shitty pot metal. If you adjust this up, it would create tension because there is a spring beneath this. So the tension would keep the rear sight floating and smacking into the screw. So it will break here if you adjust this. So I just tightened this, didn't move, been working fine. You can see that I shimmed it here a bit. This is just some epoxy. It's not epoxy to the frame, it's to the slide. It's epoxied just to create a shim that is easy to deal with because there was a lot of play, but right now it's solid, like there's no movement. The other side just needed a bit. I made sure that this is as flat as possible to not give me any inaccuracies. So, I mean, my hand will not give you a flat sight, but you get the gist of it. Same thing here with the back plate, the hammer protection pad, if it would focus. Gently on the bottom here, this gets beat up quickly, so you still want to make sure it's smooth. Same thing, been sanded, polished. There is zero resistance with the hammer. Flows perfectly. Yeah, pretty simple build. Nothing is crazy. All that matters is everything fits perfectly together. This is the most important part. When it comes to the frame, missing the screw like every other guy. The hammer, as I said, has the two notches, so half-cock functions. Airsoft Masterpiece steel disconnector, steel disconnector, steel cut off, steel firing pin inside there. Airsoft Masterpiece, it's called safeties. Sorry guys, it's 1 a.m. and I'm dead tired. I just decided to make this video because I want to get into the habit of making more videos, and hopefully someone finds this informative. When it comes to the hammer spring, I'm still using the stock Marui spring. It's soft. It gives me a very crisp trigger pull, the way that I like it. At the bottom, I put a brass weight. I just got it machined, super cheap. It's the size of 1.5 BBs. Basically, very easy way to short stroke to hammer spring is just to place a BB down there. And I guess I would say that's 3-4 millimeter short stroke, brass weight to give it a bit of a heft and a bit of a control. And since it's smooth enough, it runs fine. The header of the hammer spring is the Airsoft Masterpiece steel ones. Usually when you buy a hammer, they give you one, so it runs smoother, especially in plastic grips. I find it to run very, very smooth. And I like the resistance that it creates and tension that it makes over the soft spring. Revanchist Airsoft makes a, I think 90% spring, so it's even lighter, but I like to have a crisp trigger pull. The mag, well, anything that would fit. Like the way that it looks, the cut here allows it to fit in the box, I guess. But nothing crazy. Safeties, the Infinity extended ones, you can see this one is a bit bigger. I like them. The hidden hammer. This mag catch that I said that I didn't like, it's made out of aluminium, and if you keep putting in your mags pretty aggressively, I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, you can see the silver markings inside of the mag catch. You can see me moving it. This wears down very quickly with time, and since these are pretty heavy, pretty beefy mags, the more you jam it in, it's gonna cause wear and tear. And I don't like how soft it is. You can see it even creates a squeaky noise. I hate that. It drives me insane. So I'm looking to replace this very soon, and I don't want any inconsistencies with the mag when it's being placed in. I want to make sure that it's as flat as possible, a little wobble. And the trigger, tuned just the way that I like it. There is a bit of up and down play, but not much I can do since this is a plastic grip. But when it comes to the pull, that's it. That's the only resistance that you have. And then immediately falls. When I put the slide back on, I'll be able to show it a bit better. I basically tuned the trigger. I shimmed the back of it with, I guess, 0.5 millimeter steel sheets. Basically, you have the trigger ring, and I shimmed it to the back where it hits the disconnector, well, technically it is the disconnector and the leaf spring. It puts them in a position that it is silky smooth, that as soon as I hit, it would reach where I want it to. Tuning the trigger takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, and if anyone's interested, I can show this. I know Knuckles refused to show how he's tuning because people are a bit silly when it comes to responsibility. If I see someone wanting to show this, I guess not a big of a problem. You can go to forums, you can go to anywhere and find this information. It's not a big deal, but I guess if you're into IPSC, you're into Action Air, at some point you're gonna deal with this, so it's better to show it clearly, the concept of it, rather than tell you like, oh, hey, just do this and every single time it's gonna work. Basically, I'm just shimming the back, creating the amount of space that I want and the amount of travel that I want, because you can see, even pressing it back, it's not moving. This is the up and down wobble. But if I try to gently push it back, there is no movement. Like nothing. So it is directly on the wall that as soon as I click, hammer falls. And when I release, that it just one straight pull, stops, and I'm back at the wall. Nothing. Like my finger on the trigger or not, it doesn't make a difference. It's just ready to fire. This is considered safe when it comes to shooting matches. So this is when I get you like disqualified or unable to use this replica. This is perfectly fine. At least I did not encounter any problems. What else? Pretty simple build. As I said, everything needs to be polished. Everything needs to be gently sanded down. Any surface that encounters any other surface, you should try to remove any of the burrs, anything that can catch. The same thing goes for the springs. The same thing goes for every single thing in the replica that you're trying to build. You cannot leave, if your skills are up to par, your shooting pistol should be up to par as well, and it only takes a bit of care and love to polish everything to make sure that there is no burrs. The fitment is great, like when you put down this slide. That and when it comes to slide and rail fitment, this is just luck, but you can see that there is very little movement. Fitment is pretty good. This is a used frame, so I don't expect perfection, but I'm pulling up. I'm pulling genuinely hard, and it's not moving. Side to side, there's a bit, but it's not noticeable. It will not affect anything. So all that it takes to build these is a lot of care, a lot of patience, making sure that everything fits perfectly together, and that is in itself a skill. It requires patience, it requires understanding how each part interacts with the other. When it comes to hammer and sear engagement, this is where the hardest part comes from. And there are jigs to file down and correctly have the smoothest angle. And I wouldn't recommend that, because if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna fuck it up. There's plenty of resources online for real steel firearms that show you how to correct the hammer to the sear engagement, and the same concept follows for airsoft, since it's technically the same. It's the same shapes. I would not advise doing that if you're getting into this. I would recommend just very gently smoothing out the parts. Do not remove material, just make sure that there is nothing to catch on, that the surface, the finish is smooth, there is no ridges, any burrs, anything that can affect the engagement and the travel of parts. Like everything needs to come smoothly, everything needs to ride on top of each other smooth. And the lubricants that you use is pretty much up to you. Up to your preferences. I use very soft, smooth grease on the rails. I clean this all the time so the grease will not collect any dirt or any dust. This is always maintained. So I have no problem using very, very smooth, viscous grease. And it allows me decent results. I still would prefer the Ballistol Universal Oil. That one is the bulletproof one. But when it comes to the hammer spring, when it comes to the housing, I try to use something that a bit lasts a bit longer. But the ballast oil, universal oil, should be good to go. You can also experiment with graphite lubricants, the real stuff, not the one that is mixed with God knows what. Those are a bit expensive and they can run super expensive if you use them all the time, but they're perfect for tight fitting slides and frames. But those ones are a bit more advanced. I get, as I said, the ballast oil, universal oil should cover your bases. I hope I'm remembering the name correct. It's somewhere in my work area. What else? The mags. I'm running the standard Chrome Tokyo Marui mags. The bottom plate, well, the bottom portion, not the plate, the portion here. I'm using the Garter aluminum ones. This is the stock Marui one. Usually I would have some grip tape. The cheapest way to get it is either get some abrasive sand and stick it to this, or just get some grip tape, go to the skate shop or anywhere, just stick it in, cut out for the inlet valve, and it will give you a bit of resistance when you're placing in. It creates a surface where you can feel it on your hand. I like that, but for now this is smooth. This is not the ones that I run, but this mag has it, so whatever. But again, the only thing that I recommend is making sure that you have some way to feel the mag. I'm sorry for the lighting, guys. I'm standing up for this, and my setup is very DIY. Skater tape or maybe anything abrasive on your hand that you can feel the mag. The only recommendation that I would do to the stock mags are great because they're heavy. Speed softers and people who would like skirmish need lightweight mags because they're running, but you want a heavy mag that as soon as you drop, it falls down. You want as smooth of a transition when you're reloading. The only thing that I would recommend changing is the locking mechanism here. JLP makes aluminum ones, Revanchist makes aluminum ones, a pack of 6 for like $20, something like that. The shipping is gonna kill you because it's coming from Asia, but besides that, that's the only recommendation that I would do, and some grip tape or any abrasive sand that you can glue here. The inside of the mags are polished. You can't see it very clearly because my setup's shit, but it is what it is. Polish the rails. Make sure that no BB ever gets stuck. Make sure that your spring is healthy, that there is no rust. Nothing. Sometimes these can get a bit wet. Make sure that it's super clean. You're shooting these BBs for a match. So you want to ensure that the BBs are consistent, that they're smooth, there's nothing cutting out, nothing getting stuck, no dirt, whatever. Take care of your mag. This is super important. The mag lips are, it's probably the stock ones. They're fine. The outflow valve. I break these once in a while. Especially with the other builds that I have that have very strong firing pins. These can get chewed up, so I treat them as a consumable. These are very cheap, if I'm not mistaken, KJW ones. And the only thing that I've done is give them some amount of grease to make sure that they hold the air very well. And sometimes they have a bit of burrs or flashing from the casting. I remove those. I don't want anything flying inside of my gun, especially that the air pressure that you're shooting out of this is pretty high. Any burrs can sometimes, or the flashing can jump through the router, either damage the router, damage the gun, damage whatever. It's not worth the headache. Clean the flashing, clean the burrs. Make sure that it's running smoothly, that nothing will fly through out of it. They're pretty cheap, affordable, they're everywhere. And it's the same thing as the Marui ones, in my opinion, and in my usage, I found them to be the same. 9-ball routers. I prefer the Tokyo Marui. For Action Air, Tokyo Maruis. Yes, you lose a bit of the air seal, but most of the matches you're running them indoors. You're running them in areas that are more controlled temperamentally. And most of the times you would be keeping your mags in a heating box, let's say. I can make a video on the heating box that I made. I am working on another revision of it. It's DIY, it's cheap, but it keeps the mags warm and controlled temperature. So you would not gain that much with the FPS. Plus, you're not shooting great distances. You don't need high FPS output. You don't need much power. You just need it to shoot reliably and smoothly. The Tokyo Maruis are shorter, and they don't allow the nozzle to catch, because sometimes when it goes in, it can get stuck from this section here. So you either smooth this one out or just go with the tried and true Marui ones. I like them. That's pretty much it for the video. I know that this is a very simple rundown of my setup. It's nothing crazy, nothing... I just need it to function. I need it to function smoothly. I need it to function accurately. Buying expensive parts without knowing how to properly fit them. I see so many videos online about people building these crazy, oh, I have a $10,000 Hi-Capa build for speed saw. Sure, it's a great pistol, but if you don't know basics of how to fit these parts together, I'm not the best. I'm not claiming to be, but at least I put love and care in whatever I'm trying to do. And if you're not being patient and understanding how to fit these parts together, you're going to have a worse time, especially when it comes to competing. If you're skirmishing, I can understand that you're not requiring every ounce of performance, but you still want it to run smoothly. You want it to run the way that you intended to run. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do to ensure that it runs very smoothly. You can also, since I have a lot of short strokes, the tooth here, if it would focus, the second one, this one here, you can just shave off the head and you're able to place it in as so without needing to rack it, and just bam, done. Very smooth, runs exactly how I want. The nozzle doesn't stick. A lot of people are obsessed with the nozzle, wanting it to stick. You just want it as fast as you can to get out, so it would feed the next BB. The return springs that I'm using are Battle Flare 180s. I would love to try out the Revanchist 300%. The Battle Flare ones are available in Europe, pretty affordable. I have a bunch of them, and I can guarantee that they work well. But the Revanchist ones seem very enticing, especially the amount of short stroke that I have. But for me, it's consistency and longevity of these. You will chew up through return springs if there is anything wrong. So that's why I'm ensuring that everything is smooth, especially at the top of the slide. Sometimes the return spring can get chewed up on something, catching it. So if you ensure that the surfaces are smooth, that return spring is going to become healthier. It's going to last a lot longer. So you get more out of your pistol just because you gave it more attention when you're building it, when you're maintaining it. And again, you don't need the most expensive parts. Do you need any of this? No. A plastic slide would have probably been better. The stock frames are good enough. You don't need an advanced frame. The only thing that I would recommend, honestly, is probably a lightweight blowback unit. The stock hop-up is good enough. Probably a different bucking. The Tokyo Marui stock barrels, if you polish them and if you lap them, perfectly fine, very serviceable. You can cut out a lot of money if you're willing to put in the effort. I can also make a video if anyone's interested in how to lap barrels. but you can save on a lot of money. The short stroke, you can 3D print it, you can find random piece of plastic, random piece of rubber, you can cut down the cost. The grip, this is just external modification. You can go with grip tape or just abrasive sand. It will look ugly, but you're talking about performance. These stock sights, serviceable. I prefer a fiber front sight, but that's just me. The safeties are serviceable. They will break at some point, but it gets you in the game. Um, a lot of the airsoft community is about spending a lot of money. And yeah, buying stuff is pretty cool. It's pretty fun. Having a flashy pistol is always great. It gets you attention. And again, it's showing your personality in a form that is a bit different. But don't fall into the trap of buying stuff before trying it out, before giving it the attention that it needs, because these parts are not cheap. The Gunsmith Bro frame is probably the most expensive on the market, probably the same as the Dr. Black's. And would I recommend it? Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic. But would I say this to someone who's inexperienced? No. Would I say this to someone who's starting out? No. Because I would want them to run the pistol, find out what they like, what they don't like, have them deal with problems that arise from running the platform, and then figuring out a solution. And maybe this sounds preachy, maybe this sounds a bit off, but I just feel that we need to focus more on taking care of the stuff that we have rather than buying stuff and hoping it solves the solution. I'm on some social media, I'm on some subreddits, some Facebook groups, and I see the problems that people have. And 9 times out of 10, it's people buying something that they don't understand, putting it in a way that they just saw in a video and hoping that it works. But in reality, it's not giving them the performance that they were hoping for because they're less experienced. And that's fine. I wasn't experienced once, but you learn through experience. It's the same thing. If you're inexperienced, you're just lacking the experience. And honestly, just go for it. Hi-Capas are great. The CZ shadows are pretty great too, but the safest option is probably the Hi-Capa. There's billion parts out there. Most people know how to deal with them. There's plenty of spare parts in every country, so you'll never be out of luck. I know that this is a simple showcase. I did not really show anything too specific, but again, if anyone wants a specific explanation on a specific part, I'm more than happy to make a video just dedicated for that part. But as a basic rundown of the standard division pistol that I'm running for 2025, as I said, the only thing I'm probably going to change is the mag release and the mag bottoms. Besides that, I might experiment with a plastic slide. Those are becoming quite the meta, as you would say that. Especially in Hong Kong and in Asia, everyone's running like just 3D printed slides or stock Marui slides. So we will see how things go, but yeah, it's a long video. It's at 39 minutes. Sorry for the yapping, but I just wanted to share with you guys. Hopefully someone gets interested in this. If you want me to run down the regulations for standard division or even open, I'm more than happy to. Again, anything that you're specifically asking for, I'll try to make a video about explaining it. And yeah, if you made it this far, well, thanks. I appreciate that. And yeah, I'll see you around, guys. See you.